Justin here. I'm just waiting for the secret poets to arrive. The library's under construction, so we secretly moved our secret meeting spot to the secret gazebo in the park, but no one is supposed to know. I really gotta get better at the whole secret club thing. Ugh. Anyway, the construction at the library got me thinking about poetic structure. Like the structure of a building, the structure of a poem is how it's built. No one else is here yet, so let's talk about it. Poetic structure is the way lines, stanzas, and sounds are arranged in a poem. It's how the poem looks and sounds. How many lines and stanzas? Is it short or long? Even or uneven? The structure a poet chooses affects how the poem sounds, and that's where rhythm comes in. Rhythm is the pattern of sounds and beats in a poem. Today, we'll look at 3 ways poets use structure to create rhythm: line breaks, rhyme scheme, and meter. What do you think line breaks are? Line breaks are where lines end in a poem. Poets often break lines mid-sentence to shape the poem sound. Here's an example. Take this stanza from Because I Could Not Stop for Death by Emily Dickinson. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. This stanza is really one long sentence, but the line breaks and rhyme create a rhythm. You've already learned that rhyme is the use of words with the same ending sound, but poets take things one step further with rhyme scheme, the pattern of rhyming words at the ends of lines in a poem. To see rhyme scheme in action, here are the first 2 stanzas of Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. When annotating rhyme schemes, we use letters. Lines that rhyme are marked with the same letter, and the first line is always marked A. In the first stanza, the words no, though, and snow rhyme, and since they rhyme with the first line, all 3 will be marked A. Since line 3 doesn't rhyme with the others in this stanza, we mark it B. On to stanza 2, should we mark any lines A? No, none of these lines rhyme with the A lines in stanza 1. Should we mark any lines B? Yes, lines 5, 6, and 8 all rhyme with line 3 from stanza 1. But what should we mark line 7? If you said C, you're right. Pause the video and try marking the rhyme scheme for the rest of the poem in your notes. How did you do? Pause the video to check your answers. What patterns do you notice in this poem's rhyme scheme? Jot your thoughts down in your notes. The lines in stanzas 1 through 3 follow the same pattern. Rhyme, rhyme, no rhyme, rhyme. You also might have noticed that all of the lines in the 4th stanza rhyme with each other. Once you notice these patterns, you can really see how poets intentionally structure their poems. Great job! Next, we are going to talk about meter. That sounded really weird, huh? Meter is the pattern of stressed and unstressed syllables in a poem. I just stressed unusual parts of that sentence so you could really hear it, but we naturally stress syllables when we speak all the time. Take the word happy. We say happy, not happy. We naturally stress the first syllable. When poets develop meter, they create a rhythm you can hear. You could figure out a poem's meter by marking a beat when you read the stressed syllables. I'll show you by clapping my hands. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. Notice how I read it naturally. I didn't stress or unstress anything I wouldn't normally. When you read a poem, the meter's rhythm should come through on its own, so try not to overthink it. Whenever we annotate the meter in poems, we use two symbols. This is the stress mark. It looks like a small slash, and it goes above stressed syllables, the sounds that are a little louder and stronger when you say them. And this is the breve. It's a tiny U shape that marks the unstressed syllables, the quieter, less emphasized sounds. Here, let's see them in action. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. Notice the stress marks above the syllables I clapped to, like woods and are. The breve marks are above the unstressed syllables that I didn't clap to, like whose and these. Try marking the next two lines yourself. Read aloud if you can, and make a beat if you need to. Here's what you should have. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. Now, pause the video and fill in the markings for the rest of the poem. Here's a hint. This poem's meter follows the same pattern throughout. How did you do? Do you notice any patterns in this poem's meter? Jot your answer down in your notes. Each line has 8 syllables, so they each have 8 markings. And the markings create a pattern. This poem alternates between unstressed and stressed syllables throughout. It creates a gentle rhythm that could be compared to the gentle snowfall described in the poem, or even the sound of the horse steadily making its way through the snow. Meter can be tricky at first, so don't worry if you haven't mastered it yet. You'll be able to build up the skill more in your lesson materials. Come to think about it, poetry and buildings have a lot in common. Some buildings follow a strict design, like how certain poems have specific rules regarding what their rhyme scheme and meter are. Sonnets and limericks are great examples of this. We call them poetic forms, poems that must follow a specific rhyme scheme and meter. Other buildings are more free-flowing, similar to poems that have no rules for their structure at all. In poetry, free verse is what we call poems that don't have a set structure. You can usually tell the difference between a poetic form and free verse by reading it aloud if you can. If you fall into a rhythm, the poem likely has rhyme or meter. So, why do poets structure their poems in different ways? Just like the sound devices you learned about in our last lesson, a poem's structure deepens the experience for readers. Sometimes a poem's structure will mirror its subject, like how a flowing rhyme scheme might imitate a fluttering butterfly. Or my basketball poem from the last lesson. I structured it so the line breaks would resemble a bouncing basketball. Pretty cool, right? Other times, poets create a rhythm to reflect the mood of their poem. Think about the design of a house. Spacious rooms with big windows give feelings of lightness and calm, just like poems with an easy-to-follow rhyme and meter. But a house with sharp corners and tight spaces might feel harsh and unsettling, like a poem with choppy line breaks and no rhyme. There are tons of different ways a poet can create rhythm and meaning through their poetic structure. You'll dive into even more examples in your lesson materials. Ooh, I think I see the secret poets headed this way. Sorry, it's still a secret. So, see you next time. Hey.